Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ankit Kumar Nath from Mall Biolec. Today I'll be talking about the RT-PCR method. RT-PCR method for the diagnosis of the COVID-19 virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So let's start, but before that, if you like my content, then help me make awesome and informative videos on either the current pandemic and videos related to study materials for BSc and MS students. Just subscribe and share this video with all your friends, colleagues and neighbors if you wish, because if you share something with your neighbors, you are a good Samaritan. Okay, so without any delay, let's start with our video. So here we are dealing with the RT-PCR method for COVID-19 detection. So in this case, what we do is first nasopharyngeal swabs is taken from the suspected person, which is a long cotton swab inserted near his oropharyngeal or nasopharyngeal region gently, and it is rotated about 5 to 10 times while covering at least a 1 centimeter square space in the person. Your hands must be very much steady, as this step is crucial for minimum virus particle collection, because you know that low amount of virus can lead to a false result also. Also, if a person is positive for the corona but you do not get any viral sample in the swab, then the person can have impression in the test that he is not positive for the COVID-19. Next, secondly, put the swab in a sterile test tube or a sterile tube that has something known as a viral transport medium. This medium by no means ensure multiplication of the virus. There are many questions coming that is this viral transport medium helping in the multiplication of the virus? No, but it preserves the structural integrity for the efficient detection of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. You must notice this. So after putting it on the viral transport medium, it is taken into the lab, where with the help of PCR method, particularly RT-PCR we are talking about, we actually see that whether the person is having COVID-19 positive or not. So first of all, the swab sample, cotton swab sample, is added in a lysis buffer which contains guanidinium isothiocyanate plus phenol, plus in some mixes we also have RNase inhibitor. So guanidinium isothiocyanate and phenol, it acts like a detergent. Okay, it removes the viral outer bilayers and it frees the genome of the virus. And as you know that the viral genome is particularly RNA in this case, so we have also an RNase inhibitor, because you can find RNase everywhere. Okay, so if RNase is there, then it will cleave the RNA, and cleaving of the RNA will not give you a positive result if there is some viral particles present. So we need an RNase inhibitor such that our tests come good and we are not biased in this case. Okay. So after putting it in the RNase inhibitor lysis buffer, we do vortexing, and as we vortex, the viral lipid bilayer, it is disintegrated and the viral genome comes out, which is then immediately transferred into a purification column or spin purification column, which is also, you can say, solid phase extraction using silica gel. So how it works is that RNA gets attached to the silica column, and all the other proteins from the organism, that is the person from which we are taking the swab, and other potentially unwanted materials, okay, those are washed out and the RNA is only retained. The proteins are not retained. And to ensure that there is no other kind of proteins or something which we do not need in a PCR mixture, there is a wash buffer. This wash buffer can be anything. It can be a phosphate buffer solution even, which is used to wash the RNA. Then, okay, the pH for these all steps are maintained at a point, at a acidic point, such that RNA is properly bounded to the silica column. Okay, and then after wash buffer, we have to remove any other impurities, and for removing any other impurities, we are using another wash buffer. So 2 steps of washing is done. And after that, we need something known as the elution buffer. So this elution buffer basically helps to free the RNA from the attached silica gel beads or the silica column. Okay. After addition of the elution buffer, basically it is centrifuged in a spin column, and after centrifugation, the viral RNA is obtained. And this viral RNA is now placed in a master mix or a mix master, as you can say, which contains a buffer, PCR specific buffer. Also we have a reverse transcriptase. This RTS written over here is basically reverse transcriptase. We have reverse and forward primer for the RNA, for the amplification of RNA, because PCR means polymerase chain reaction, and it's a method of amplification where we double the initial number of genome found or present in our sample tube. Okay, so with the help of the reverse and forward primer, this reverse and forward primer, for example, let me show you. Suppose if this is a DNA, then this is a DNA, okay, this is a single stranded DNA. So this single stranded DNA, it will have a primer sitting over in this part, and this primer will be then extended by the DNA polymerase. Similarly, suppose this is the other portion, the top portion of the DNA, because DNA is double stranded. So I was talking about the 5' to, suppose I am talking about the 5' to 3' strand over here. So it's basically a 5' primer sitting over here, which is extending this part, and in the top portion we'll have a 3' strand, a 3' primer that will extend the top portion of the DNA. So resultingly both of the parts are amplified. Okay, we also have something known as the Tachman probe. So these Tachman probes are short 5' to 3' segments of DNA having a quencher at the 3' position and a reporter at its 5' position. This reporter is essentially a fluorophore, but until and unless they are separated, I mean quencher and the reporter are separated, the fluorescence from the fluorophore is not observed. Okay, so more on this later. So what happens next? This entire mixture is first vortexed in a pulse vortex machine, and then it is placed on the PCR plate, which consists of essentially 96 well, and this whole 96 well PCR plate is then inserted into a thermocycler machine, which is basically a PCR machine. And these reverse and forward primers, okay, these are specific for some genes like the RDRP gene, the viral RDRP gene, or the E gene, or in some case also the N genes. Okay, so these N genes and E genes and RDRP genes, basically the E gene and the N gene, these are the structural components of the virus, and the RDRP is both the structural as well as it's essential because it's basically an RNA polymerase for the virus. Okay, so in case of PCR we need DNA, but we are starting with the viral RNA. So this RNA to DNA conversion is first done by the reverse transcriptase enzyme, and which makes a DNA complementary for the viral RNA, and this is then first of all denatured at 96 to 95 degrees Celsius depending upon the company processes or the instructions, and then this denaturation basically helps to remove the RNA DNA hybrid. So now what happens is that at this high temperature the RTS is inhibited and DNA poly is activated, because we are using in this case DNA poly is Thermus aquaticus DNA polymerase, Taq DNA polymerase. Okay, and this RTS is an enzyme protein, so it gets denatured. Okay, but the DNA polymerase is very much resistant to high temperature, so it is activated at that temperature. And after this is activated, we have first reducing the temperature. So basically this is the denaturation step, then we have followed by annealing step. So in the annealing step, at a temperature of 58 degrees Celsius of forward primer and reverse primer, these forward and reverse primer, they basically bind to the DNA as we have made with the help of RTS. And then after annealing we have an extension period, which basically it amplifies the DNA sequence because the primer template junction is provided now. So the DNA polymerase can now act, and while acting the DNA polymerase extends the sequence in the 5' 3' direction, as we know, basic. So now after that there is another denaturation step at 95 degrees Celsius, which is basically removes the double-stranded DNA form, and after that there is again an annealing for the Tachman probe. So actually these steps occur not only once or twice, these steps are actually occurring multiple times, and after that we will have a very high amount of the DNA, extended DNA from the person, from basically from the original DNA we have obtained from the RTS, Now this DNA is then further treated, or I must say that the annealing is done with the help of Tachman probe, and this annealing temperature is again low, such that the Tachman probe can bind to specific sequences in the genome. Okay, so these Tachman probes are specifically designed for targeting particular parts of the viral genome. It can be RDRP gene, it can be E gene, it can be N gene, it can be anything. Now after that, after the extension, what happens is that the annealing is done. So the probe is basically attached to the DNA like I have shown in the figure, and it is extended. Okay, now these probes, I have told you that Tachman contains a reporter over here, a reporter and a quencher. The quencher basically quenches, or basically does not allow the light to come through the fluorophore to give out its fluorescence, but the reporter over here is basically a fluorophore. So they are very much closely spaced such that there is no essential fluorescence happening. But whenever extension is carried out using the Thermus aquaticus DNA polymerase, which by the way have something known as the 5' exonuclease activity, as I am showing over here, the 5' exonuclease activity, and these probes are basically 5' to 3' short segments of DNA. So while extension from this part, this 3' over, so this is the basically a primer, and as it is getting extended, this 3' OH is extended, the exonuclease activity of the DNA polymerase, as my laser is moving on, it will cleave the 5' part of the reporter, and as it is cleaved, first we will have a signal, a pulsing signal, a fluorophore signal from the 5' reporter part, and it will go on continuing to destroy the Tachman probe, and the quencher will be released as well. So when this happens, we will get to see our first signal that this part is amplified and contains a specific genome sequence for the Tachman probe. That is, a viral sample is essentially present. So that is what I have shown over here, that this DNA polymerase basically cuts this reporter out, and this reporter is basically in the solution, it gives out fluorescence, and this fluorescence is captured using different light. The thermocycler also has a light system attached to it, and this light basically excites this fluorophore, and this is captured with the help of different kind of devices and the different kind of physical instruments, light instruments, to a CCD camera. Okay, and that CCD camera actually helps you to get digital digital interpretation of the data. Okay, so every time a reporter molecule is cleaved out because of a particular good sequence binding of the Tachman probe to the specific part of the DNA, there is a reporter which is getting freed, and this reporter serves as a signal that yeah, this is the particular digital data in computer, the digital data for the presence of the viral RNA in the nasopharyngeal swab. Ultimately, how many times a reporter have clicked in and how many amount of the reporter molecules are excited throughout the course is measured, and it is standardized, and then it is calculated, and then we can know that actually quantitatively what was the viral load in that person, and specifically we can also declare that whether the person is positive for the COVID-19 or not. So this is my video about how RT-PCR can be used for detecting the COVID-19 virus. If you like this video, then please subscribe and click that bell notification on, such that whenever I am uploading a new video, you get to learn first. But I have a homework for you. Do you know what is the composition of the viral transport medium? Comment down below if you know the answer. It will be great if we interact more. Love you all. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay at home. Bye. Also, please, if you know the answer, then please write it down in the comments. Okay, I will see it, and I will tell you if it is right or wrong. Okay, thank you. Bye. Please don't forget to subscribe. Mall Biolect out.